All right, good afternoon. I think we'll get started. Welcome, everybody. We appreciate you guys joining us. We appreciate your support. We're all excited to talk about football, get started, and another start of hopefully another successful year to Memphis athletics. We had such an incredible year last year. We're looking forward to a repeat edition this year. So just a couple reminders, if you all could mute your lines. We'll have some questions and answers, but we're going to hold those till the end. So if you would, please use the chat feature at the bottom. It says Q&A, and you can type in your question. We'll answer that at the end. And we're going to kind of go through the presentation today, kind of share with you what Keep Memphis Roaring is all about. And then we'll kind of have some time for some questions and answers. So just real quick, want to introduce everybody. Myself, Adam Walker, Executive Associate Athletic Director, Administration, work with tickets and development in some other areas. We've got Jeff Crane, Deputy Athletic Director on the call. We've got Steve Macy, Senior Associate Athletic Director for External. We got Blair DeBoard. He's Associate Athletic Director in the Tiger Scholarship Fund, new addition. And, of course, our fearless leader, Laird Veach, our Athletic Director. So I want to turn it over to Laird and have some opening statements and a few things from him. Thanks.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Welcome and thanks, everybody. I am sure by now you have seen and heard all about the announcements from yesterday, from both the American Athletic Conference as well as our athletic program. And, essentially from a schedule standpoint, you saw that our football season actually remarkably looks rather similar to what it did, many months ago. And then we've also modified some of our other fall sports and the schedules for their competition as well. And I'm hopefully that you've had a chance to read the initial information about our Keep Memphis Roaring campaign. I can tell you that we are excited to at least have a direction and some hope at this point, a plan that we have been working on for quite a while that we have the potential ability to carry through with. And, that in itself has been exciting for our staff to at least roll out. On the other hand, while it's really not unexpected, we are disappointed that we had to announce that social distancing requirements will be in place. I'm sure we all anticipated that, but it's at the same time not something that we're happy to have to push forward. That essentially means, as you all likely know, that the space between accounts, between those seating groups, will have to be up to currently what we anticipate is 12 feet all around each seating group. And there is a chance that could potentially go down to 6 feet, although we are currently and we anticipate being at 12 feet distance between those groups. So, but because there is the possibility, we felt like we needed to prepare for both. That combined with, the financial challenges that we have shared, the potential impacts of all this on our athletic program, really led us to push forward this Keep Memphis Roaring campaign. And we wanted to give you an opportunity to choose options that we've created, but also consider helping us. Once again, you are the folks that have really been there for us, been with us through the thick and thin, and we're asking once again for you to consider helping us at this really challenging time. Adam and Blair are going to walk us through the details here in a minute, but I wanted to also point out that I'm extremely proud of them and the rest of our staff. Many are on this call now, but behind the scenes as well, that have done an incredible amount of preparation and work, trying to pull together a very challenging and confusing situation and make it as simple as possible. We do recognize it's not simple, and it's not an easy thing to navigate, think through, work through, but they've really worked hard to try to do that as much as possible. So I want to move to the next slide, if you would, Blair, and just take a minute to sort of on a big picture level, share with you all what our guiding principles have been since the beginning as we've developed our plans here. As we have said time and time again, we will keep repeating, safety, health and safety has been our #1 priority. and will continue to be, not only for our student athletes and coaches and staff, but for you as well, as we put together plans for what we are able to accommodate in the Liberty Bowl and other potential events throughout the year. And support it. So the responsibility for us from an athletic department standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, the fundraisers that are on the call here today, one of our big roles is providing resources that help fuel our athletic programs, right? Paying for scholarships, but also employing our staffs and really keeping everything running in the department is a big responsibility, and one we don't take lightly. I will tell you there probably has never been a time when these first two priorities that you see in front of you have come at odds as much as they are now, and it is a difficult balance to strike. In the end, health and safety will win out, but obviously there are some really impactful elements to our financial picture as well. We also stated from the beginning that we're going to be in compliance with the medical and community authorities. So as other officials that we're working with, we feel really good about the communication and the coordination to this point. And we have had a lot of dialogue with them about how we will present things on game days. And in the end, they're the ones that make the decisions from a health and safety standpoint, and we're here to abide by those. And finally, transparency. You know, we've really tried to lay out for you here. Hopefully you'll see that in front of you here in a minute. But throughout this process, we've been tried to be as open and transparent as possible and provide as much information as we can without overwhelming with you, not only with the impacts on us, but also for the options for you to consider. So with that, I will turn it back over to Adam for he and Blair to guide us through the rest of the presentation. Thank you all.
Thanks, Laird. I think you'd probably be best about going through this since you did it about 6 times on the radio yesterday, but we'll do our best to see how we can work through this. So as Laird mentioned, there's basically 2 different scenarios. There's a 6-foot scenario and the 12-foot scenario. Right now, currently under Shelby County Health guidelines, we are under the 12-foot scenario, but there is an opportunity if things improve or if regulations change, we could move into the 6-foot scenario. So we thought it was important to make sure you had all the information as a season ticket holder to be able to opt in or opt out accordingly to these options. So basically, that's the 6-foot model. We're asking you, if you go into keepmemphisroaring.com, you'll fill out the survey. That'll be the first one that pops up. We're basically asking you whether you'd like to opt in or opt out this year in that scenario, and knowing that in either scenario, your seats are going to be displaced accordingly because of social distancing. We'll be basically social distancing between groups or accounts of people that are family or known acquaintances. So we want to make sure you have those options. And if you opt out of the 6-foot model, that puts you into the 12-foot model and letting us know what you'd like to do with your season tickets, parking, and donation. In the 12-foot model, you basically have 3 options. It's donate, credit, or refund. And Blair will kind of go into each of these a little bit more, but candidly, we just want to let you know how impactful this is for us. And we all hope you choose to opt in, use your tickets, and donate. The best opportunity for you guys to cheer on our Tigers in Liberty Bowl in a safe manner is to opt in at the 6-foot model and to donate in the 12-foot model. In the 12-foot model, we're looking at severely reduced capacity, right around 4,500 seats. And by the time you look in what we can actually offer to our fans when you take out some students, player guests, recruits, visiting team, and such, it's about half of that. So we realize we may not be able to seat everybody, but we're going to basically guarantee everybody 1 game if you donate, and possibly more depending on how many opt in. In the 6-foot model, if we were able to get there, we anticipate being able to accommodate all season ticket holders that renewed by June 30th. So I'll let Blair kind of walk through some of the in-depth scenarios of those 2 options.
So as Adam mentioned, here are basically the main options we have. You can donate all the funds that you paid to the Tiger Scholarship Fund and to the ticket office. You can credit your ticket and parking funds to the 2021 season and then donate what you paid for your per seat donation to the Tiger Scholarship Fund. Then the last one really is, credit your tickets, parking, and your TSF contributions to the TSF, or to credit it for the 2021 season. And the last one would be requesting a refund for your tickets and parking funds, and then you would choose to credit or donate your TSF per seat donations. So that first option, and it's important to remember that all of these options are only the ones we're going through are for the 12-foot option. So the 6-foot scenario is really easy. You're opting in to use your seats, or you're opting out to not use your seats. If you opt out to not use your seats, we will then use whatever you select as the 12-foot option or 12-foot scenario. Whatever you select, that's what we'll do with your money, unless you want to do something different. We've had some people ask us to, push it towards men's basketball season and other things, and that's an option as well. The first option here, this is the one that really helps us the most, and is most impactful to not only our student athletes and our programs and our coaches, but to our staff and everything that we have going on. When we first started trying to figure out what we were going to do to help manage this and help mitigate some of the losses, the reality is, some of us haven't been here for very long. Some of us have been here for a long time. But the one thing that we can agree on is we have a ton of momentum right now. We just have come off of a Cotton Bowl and two AAC championship appearances, but an AAC football championship last year. Women's soccer had an AAC championship, and we have a lot of other programs making great strides, as well as men's basketball and Coach Hardaway and some of the recruiting things that he's been able to put together. So the most impactful way for us to help keep that momentum and keep funding our programs at the same level that we have been is by choosing this donate option. So the donate option, you get first priority for at least one set of 2020 game tickets and parking at no additional cost. So whatever tickets you have as season tickets, you will at least get those for one game. Now, based on the responses so far, you're going to get multiple games. Honestly, depending on how things pick up, you could get 5 or 6 games. So it's just something to keep in mind that if you want tickets in the 12-foot model, you should choose the donate option. You also, in the donate option, are guaranteed a price lock for the 2021 season. So in 21, we play 7 home games. One of those home games is Mississippi State. In a normal season, we would increase the ticket costs and increase the per seat donation. But if you choose option 1 and donate it, we'll lock your price so you won't have to pay the increase. The third thing is you will receive a mini helmet replica of what the Tigers wore in the Cotton Bowl game against Penn State, something we're working with Rydell on. It's going to be pretty cool. We even matched the paint scheme and all the colors and the logo, so it's going to be pretty cool. You will also, this is a question that we've gotten a lot recently. So no matter what happens this year, you will retain your seat locations for 21. So you will get the opportunity at the end of this year, when we go into next year, of renewing every seat that you have in your account and all of your parking. That will stay in your account. The fifth thing for this donate option is you will get 4 times the TSF priority points. As you all know, TSF priority points are really important, and they help us not only seat for postseason tickets, but also when you're trying to move your seats for season tickets as well. And then the last thing is, if you donate this, a portion of this may be tax deductible. So let's say you donate everything you've paid for your tickets and parking, and you only get the option of using 3 games. Well, the difference that you paid versus what you were able to use would be a tax deductible donation. But obviously, we ask that you consult your tax advisors on that. So that's the first option. The second option is to credit what you paid for your tickets and parking to the 2021 season, and then donate your TSF per seat donations as a charitable contribution for this year. Some of the details for that are: you will be eligible to purchase single game tickets for 2020. which basically means if for some reason we don't have enough people that have chosen the donate option, and we have some available seats for single games in the 12-foot or 6-foot model, people that choose this option would have the ability to actually purchase those seats. You will also receive 110% of the value of what you paid towards next year's season tickets. So, if you paid $1,000 total, you would actually be credited $1,100 for 2021. You'll also only pay the difference in the increase of your seats for next year. As we mentioned, we play 7 and we play Mississippi State. And you'll also receive 10 priority points, which equals a $500 cash donation. And then the last thing is retain your seat location like we mentioned before. The third option is to just credit all of your funds to 21. So everything that you've paid us per seat donations, ticket and parking donations, you just say push it to 21 and you won't pay next year other than just the differences in the price increases and things. Everything's basically the same from other option 2. The main difference is if you choose to credit everything to 21, you will not be eligible to purchase single game tickets in 2020 if they become available. There's possibilities that you can forecast that, we open up at 12 feet and we end at 6 feet. So the people that would choose option 2A and credit and donate would actually be able to purchase some of those single game tickets if that were to happen. And then the last option that we have here is the refund option. So, we understand and this whole time we've been as flexible and maintained flexibility. We get it. We understand that this is a difficult time in everybody's life and things happen and things change quickly. So we are offering refunds on tickets and parking. Your TSF per seat contributions can either be donated or credited to the next season. And if you want to talk to somebody about how this refund process works and what it looks like, there's a number here, 901-678-2331. And one of our ticket office representatives will really, take a person by person interest and try to figure out what's the best option for you. The thing that I will say is that this refund option, although it's fair and flexible and we understand, it does have a significant impact on our daily operations and the type of experience that we can provide our over 400 student athletes. So, it can be detrimental to our operations and their experience. And so we hope that you have a strong consideration and work with us on trying to at least credit everything, because the scholarships that we provide our student athletes, those are real dollars that we pay. And the amount that we pay for their room and board and their books and the cost of attendance and their food, those are real dollars that we pay. So if you're able, we really hope that you would consider to either choose option 1, which is obviously the best for us, or one of the crediting options. So with that, I'll kick it to Athletic Director Laird Veach to kind of touch on some few key points, and then we'll start our question and answer session.
Actually, why don't we do this if we could, Blair? Let's go ahead and jump to Q&A, and then I'll hit these and then just kind of wrap up at the end. That's all right. So if we have questions, let's do those, and then I'll wrap.
Okay. So the first question here, and I can actually answer this. So will Tiger Athletics decide where we sit if we are season ticket holders for seat back seating? Would we still have seat back seating? So it's a great question. We will be deciding on an auto allocation, by auto allocating where people will sit. So based on what you're giving annually and what your priority points are, we're going to start at the top and work our way down. We have been trying to work through, and we're not there yet, but we're trying to figure out if you're in the seat back section right now, even if you're moved to a bench level area, providing some type of seat back seating to help with that. So I hope that answers your question. Adam or Laird, do you have anything else to add on that?
Covered it well.
Okay. The next question is, I'm interested in knowing that if a 6-foot scenario is in effect prior to the start of the season, and I choose option 1 for this scenario, what are the disruption policy options you mentioned in the FAQs? So what you're asking, will I receive a refund or credit on a per game basis, or will my money be lost? So if we start the season and we get halfway through, what happens to a ticket holder's money in that scenario? Adam, do you want to talk through that one a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys all know, we issued some disruption policies in April. We want to make sure you were comfortable. So in that 6-foot scenario, if the season does get disrupted, you will have options to prorate whatever is available past that. So let's say we get halfway through the season and it's disrupted, you'll have options to either donate those funds back to us, which we hope you consider, credit it towards the next season, or refund. So those are the different options if the season's disrupted. It is important to note at the 12-foot option that if the season is disrupted, we're basically guaranteeing everybody 1 game. So those options you're selecting now are final. So, if we get into 1 game and the rest of the season, for whatever reason, is postponed or canceled, then you will automatically be selected into the donate credit options for those. So just want to make sure you're aware of that.
The next question is, do we know how many football games will be televised for this season? Adam or Steve or maybe even Laird want to answer that?
As part of our agreement with ESPN, the new one that's out, all of the AAC games will be produced by ESPN and put on one of their networks. It could be ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Plus, or ESPN3. So there will be some sort of television entity that will produce each one of our games.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. The next one we have here is can I keep 1 or more season tickets in scenario 1 and then push the others to next year? Adam, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so we know there's some extenuating circumstances, and so with those, I would just have you contact us and we can work through that. I know some people have larger accounts, and they've asked that, hey, there's a group of people that don't feel comfortable, and we do. So we'll work with you on that. I think it's just easiest probably to contact us, and we'd be happy to work through those options with you together.
Okay. So we probably have time for, I don't know, a handful more questions. Is that what you guys think? We'll take a couple more. This is a good one. So with some of us having age and physical limitations, will elevator service be available since seating will likely move up and move down? So elevator seating is going to be really difficult. Or elevator use. We don't have a ton of elevators in our stadium. That's something we're still working on, exactly how we're going to utilize those. But in that scenario, I mean, it would be socially distanced in the elevator. So 4 people per elevator, standing at all 4 corners, and wearing face masks and doing all of that.
Blair, I'll jump in too, just to add to that if anybody has individual challenges there from a physical limitation standpoint, please reach out to us and let us know that as well. So feel free to communicate directly with our ticket office, Tiger Scholarship Fund office, and we'll do everything we can to try to accommodate your individual needs.
Yeah. There's a couple of questions on here about the Highland 100. And that's something we're working specifically with the Highland 100 group on, parking and some of that stuff. So when we get more information on that, we will be communicating to you all straight through the Highland 100 for those of you asking those questions. We have a couple of questions in here about, tailgating and where we are with that. And also, some of the things about 6 feet and wearing masks and things. So Adam, do you want to talk through some of the specifics on maybe some tailgating, and then also on masks or no masks and what that looks like in the venue?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been in close contact with Shelby County Health Department. They've been tremendous to work with. They're really trying to make sure that we are safe, we're compliant, and we've been working with them. What they've said with the masks, obviously it's a mandate by the county, so we're going to follow that as a public institution, a public venue. And also just with the concerns of the droplets, basically what they're saying is anytime you're in close proximity for 4 hours together, possibly yelling and screaming, that those can spread further than 6 feet. So at this time, with where we're at with the virus, they just felt it was most safe to have a 12-foot scenario. But they do realize there's an opportunity that could change. But right now, that's their standpoint. So that's kind of where we're at with that. In terms of tailgating, it really depends on where we end up. Right now, we're still investigating that, but we'll kind of get some more information. We kind of think there's a couple different scenarios. In the 6-foot scenario, you may be able to park, but no tailgating. If it's a much more socially distanced parking, there is a possibility that we're running by the Shelby County Health Department. That would be socially distanced tailgating, but we have to wait and see and work with them. So right now, no tailgating at this moment, but it's kind of to be determined. So we're still working through those details, and we'll let you know as that comes about here in the next couple of weeks.
Thanks. We've had a couple of questions on here about ADA seating and handicap seating and how this affects that. I know you've been, Adam, working on the nuts and bolts of this with the city on a lot of that stuff. Do you want to take that one as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we know that Liberty Bowl Stadium, it has some ADA issues throughout the years. And so as Blair mentioned, the elevators are limited. There aren't a lot of elevators available, but we will work with you in the ADA seating. So we have ADA seating on both the upper and lower levels. And so I would just, like Laird said, please reach out to us. We're going to work with you individually and find the best solution for you. So we want to make sure that you guys are accommodated and we're taking care of those issues. So just let us know and we'll work through the best we can with the available ADA seating we have.
Yep. We had a question, and we have probably time for 2 more questions. So one of the questions was, when we start the process of actually seating folks, where would we start? And we haven't exactly identified where that would be. Like this seat is the first seat. However, we will start in the 50-yard line area and start working out from that. And so I think it will be a process that we are kind of working through as we go. And we will be in contact with folks as well as we do that. Adam or Steve, do you want to add anything to that?
Good.
Okay. And the last question that one of the folks had on here that we'll answer, and if I didn't get your question or I didn't get to your question, because we have actually quite a few questions on here, I will feel free to email me directly. My email is bdebord@memphis.edu, and we will also be sending out the recording of this webinar to our donor base just for review and sharing as well. So one of the questions that somebody had was, as they understood it, the best thing for the University of Memphis and the athletic department, what are the best options for us in terms of keeping momentum going? And I can answer that, Adam. I mean, all of us can answer it. Basically, if you want to help us, or if you're asking how you can help us the most, it's by opting into your season tickets in the 6-foot scenario, and it's by donating your money in the 12-foot scenario. So to the person that asked that, thank you for asking that question. With that, and kind of a closing, I'll kick it to Laird to close us out, and we'll go with that.
Thank you, Blair, Adam, Steve. Well done. Appreciate it. And thank you again, everybody, for your time and for listening and your investment. I know we've shared this multiple times, but it bears repeating that tickets and Tiger Scholarship Fund revenues are our largest source of revenue. If you haven't heard us already, that these decisions have a significant impact on our people and programs. I'm sure you're going to get tired of hearing it, but please just know that, that is weighing on us and the leadership of this department and university, and decisions that are looming ahead that frankly could be really challenging and really difficult. So we appreciate your thoughtfulness, and please do, as Blair said earlier, we recognize that not everybody's in the position to help, and but if you are, we would appreciate it. And as I said in that video that we sent out, I guess that was just early yesterday. Feels like it was a week ago at this point. But the momentum and the things that you all have accomplished together, you being not necessarily me because I wasn't here, but you as our fans, our coaches, student athletes in recent years has just been incredible. We have amazing momentum with our programs. There's so much to be excited and optimistic about associated with Memphis athletics. And we got to find a way to get through this in a way that'll help us keep that momentum going. And your consideration of helping us through this time is very much appreciated. I do feel very confident that decisions we make and how we weather this storm is going to determine our future, possibly for several years. And we need to do everything we can to mitigate the impacts and get right back on that wave of momentum that was started by you all here in recent years. So thank you all. Again, we appreciate it. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to any of us and ask questions. And thanks for all you do. Keep Memphis roaring.
Thanks all.
Thanks, everyone.
You.